Hello everyone, this is Mark Rivera of Genre Online Net on YouTube, and today I have a review of Hasbro's Star Wars The Vintage Collection, Star Wars The Mandalorian, The Mandalorians, and one Starfighter 3 3/4 inch scaled vehicle with 3 3/4 inch scaled figure and accessories. The instructions are fairly simple. Everything is pretty much laid out very clearly. Shows you where the figure goes in, what the accessories are. But there is one thing I want to show you all now. I don't know 100% if I'm correct on this, but if you look, you'll see that A has a covering for one of the engines, and it's a regular shade of, I guess, orange, depending how it looks in the camera to your and on your wherever you're viewing the device. And then B though is a different shade, so I don't know if, since the pieces look identical, if it only came with one covering in the box or if it came with two, because I went looking all over the place on the floor. I thought to myself, oh God, I hope I didn't drop it, I hope it didn't fall. But I checked everything, and the only thing I could think of is either it didn't come with it, or it didn't come with it because it's not supposed to come with it. You only get one covering so that you can see the detail, and it also adds to that imperfect, used up Star Wars universe style. So I'm going to call Hasbro and ask them during the week, and I'll let you guys know when I do an update video on this. It does come with, you have a little space here. There's like a little type of, I guess it's Beskar metal type of rod or something that goes inside here in the engine to place to store it. And then the back of the ship, the part that sticks out the most, it's like a little tail type of balancing thing. It goes plugged into here, and then you have either the choice of the Grogu figure or the eventually to be sold separately R5D4 figure that you'll be able to put the head into this accessory that it does come with this part. But unfortunately, they didn't include the figure, and I just think they really should have just included the head so that you had a different choice of display, because then you could fit the Grogu in the cockpit. But nevertheless, that's just the way it comes. So, it is what it is. Basically, it's fairly straightforward. In some cases, you might really have to press in a bit. I found some difficulty with Grogu in particular. It's the little hole and the little peg that you put him through. It just didn't fit. However, when you put the little dome over it, he seems to hold him in place. It comes with a carded figure, which I'm going to leave sealed. Okay, partially because even though I opened it, which does hurt the collectability of the item, it does nevertheless add collectability if you leave the included figure carded. And so I'm just going to get from Amazon a similar vintage collection 3 3/4 inch figure that I can use for the display. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment, but this is what it looks like. It comes with the accessories, and in the instructions you could see what those accessories are supposed to be over here. So, with the exception of that one rod thing that I showed you before in the instructions, this is what you get. It's all inside this carded figure. This is one of two different display options. You have this one here that you can put the ship on, and that is, it says Star Wars The Mandalorian on it, and this is, I guess, kind of your put it on a shelf, put it in a case, whatever you're going to do with it. You could do it this way if you want to, but it does have an alternate way of putting it. This is the alternate stand. It basically gives it that floating quality, so you could display it with the alternate stand that doesn't say The Mandalorian on it or whatever, and that's what you see on the box and on the box cover. Or you can have it with The Mandalorian on it. I don't know which one I'm going to use for sure, but I like the fact that I have that option. Okay, this is what it looks like with the cover on it. okay? And this is the actual ship, and it is gorgeous. I mean, I'm very impressed by this. I mean, I saw, and you can't really compare something from Hot Toys to something from Hasbro because there's obviously a whole world of difference in detail and the amount of, well, definitely the amount of money you're paying for it, you know, so they are going to try and make it, you know, make a difference, one company between another. But this in itself is not a cheap item. This cost about maybe $131. So to give you an idea of how much the price of a spaceship in this type of scale has gone from when I was a kid in the 1970s, or 1980, the AT-AT was approximately $50, which was an unheard of price back then, okay? And now they've got the Jazzwares Micro Action Squadron AT-AT, which is, you know, really small compared to the full-size 3 3/4-inch AT-AT that, if none of you are familiar with it, look it up on Google or something. But the bottom line is that costs more than $50. So yes, this is expensive, but then when you compare it to the price of inflation and you see a company called Jazzwares, which is not Hasbro, as far as I know, I don't think they are owned by Hasbro or something like that. The bottom line is that you can see then that it's basically inflation, but then again, it's also, I guess, not unheard of for a vehicle like this to go for a price like this, at least in this day and age. I don't know how much the original N1 from the Phantom Menace went for. I can only tell you that that's how much this went for. Then I bought this directly from Hasbro, so with the shipping and whatnot, you know, it costs a little bit more. But I was happy to get this early. I've been wanting to do a review of it. The only reason why I haven't done a review of it is because I plan on displaying this within its own glass display case, kind of like the way Master Replicas would put their own ship replicas in there back in the day. Those of you who are familiar with Master Replicas will know what I'm talking about. Those of you who are not familiar, again, I would say Google it and take a look at some of their studio scale ships and whatnot that they released in the 2000s. Then they each came with their own display case and they were gorgeous. So I want to do something similar to this because I love spaceships. That's just my thing. I've always loved them and I always will. And so for me, just having something like this is worth it because you could only, I mean, I would love to get the Hot Toys one if it's even come out, but God knows how expensive that thing is, and I don't even have the room. So when I saw this go on pre-order on the Hasbro website, and this was because I was looking at the Razor's Crest, and when I saw this, I was like, okay, I gotta get this, and so I pre-ordered it, and this sold out really quick on the website. But this is not a website exclusive item. This is not numbered or anything like that, so you do not have to worry about being able to get one, at least not right now, because they should be in stores everywhere that sell these type of products, if not offline, online. I don't know what the price will be, but perhaps you'll be able to get it on a Black Friday sale. You know, I don't know how popular this is going to be with the kids as far as, or collectors. I mean, I think collectors are going to want it, period. But as far as, you know, kids, I don't know, because I'm, you know, honestly, obviously the Mandalorian's got to be popular with kids, but at the same time, I'm not so sure if I had a choice between this and the Razor's Crest, which was a crowd-funded thing that Hasbro did, which unfortunately you can't get in a store. You can get it on eBay for a lot of money, but that's about it. I would obviously want the Razor's Crest, but since I can't get that, I'm settling for this, which is not a bad settlement because it's a hell of a lot cheaper. The quality, in my humble opinion, although I've never had the Razor's Crest, so I can't say it's the same, but I'm very happy with the quality of this piece. And bottom line is that the statue, well, not statue. To me, I'm thinking of it as a statue, but it's not a statue. It's basically a toy, but at the same time, it's a very nicely detailed toy in the type of style of the, at least the marketing of it in the vintage collection line. But at the same time, it looks like they really did do some really good work on making it as screen accurate as one could expect. So I'm going to take it off the stand now, just so you guys can see what the underside looks like. So this is the underside. And well, I didn't expect this thing to get stuck to it, but yeah, this you could see it's not stuck to it like I can't take it off, but I can't take it off right now because I'm holding the camera with one hand, and you know, obviously it would be very difficult to do that while holding the camera at the same time. But at least you could see that since this is transparent, you could see the detail. Yeah, you could see the little screw things in there that, you know, on a real type of statue type of situation, you would not necessarily see that. But that's okay considering, you know, what the price factor is and the amount of detail and the fact that really you know, when I put this on display and it's going to be covered by glass, no one's going to be looking at the bottom of this. You know what I mean? They're gonna look at it from the top. Let me just the back of the unit. Okay. Hopefully this. So sorry if it gets a little out of focus. I'm just, like I said, doing this, you know, handheld, and you know, I like that with the blue. That comes out really nicely, almost like reminds me like of the engine starting on the pods. This doesn't light up or anything like that, so you don't need any batteries. No worries about that. Because sometimes batteries, they're not necessarily a hassle, but you know, I tend to not leave batteries in things because of the fact that you could forget about the batteries, and then like a year or two later when you go to check something and the batteries aren't working, you could have for lack of a better expression, a leak of battery acid, which could then permanently ruin the product. So I'm actually glad that there are no light up features. But yeah, here's a little Grogu inside. You know, like I said, the dome holds him in place. I'm not so sure. Since I don't have a Mandalorian loose, I'm keeping the carded one in the card. I don't know how it'll look when I put a figure in there, whether or not it'll stay in place. But you know, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. For now, I'm going to leave it the way it is and just get the figure and put it in there. And then I'm going to do a follow-up quickie video and some pictures of how it looks in a display case, which I expect it to look really good, because here's a little secret, folks. Anything behind glass looks better. It's just the truth. You put anything behind glass, it'll look better. It looks more professional, and it looks more museum quality when you put it behind glass. Or even acrylic, depending, you know, on what you get. But for me personally, I'm very happy with this product. I think it's worth it, especially if you're a fan. And, you know, I love spaceships, but I don't have the room for the Hot Toys one. I'm not sure if that's even been announced. I mean, no, I've seen it at Comic-Con, but it was like several years ago. So I'm not sure if it's ever been released or when it'll be released. But I do know one thing, and that's that this came out. It's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than the Hot Toys one, and a hell of a lot easier to present in a display unless you have that type of room. So this was the best option for me. You'll make the decision for yourself. But anyway, this is my off-the-cuff review of the N1 Starfighter from the Mandalorian, from the Star Wars Vintage Collection by Hasbro. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.